discussion, let me briefly address to one of the not exactly question, rather a particular area in comparative public administration, moreover development administration. One of your friend asked yesterday. So let me refer to that, especially the Widener. That's a theorist called Edward Widener. And Widener's view on development administration, he was specifically eager to know that because the question has already been asked, the view of Riggs and Widener on development administration. So he wanted to know about this Widener's view on development administration. So briefly let me introduce that before I take up this public policy evaluation and state theories and public policy. See, as far as the development administration as a concept is concerned, one of the initial and at the same time one of the foremost theorists is Widener, the Edward Widener. If you want to write separately, but brief, let me introduce this. So here I am saying one of the initial theorists and one of the foremost theorists to define and analyze development administration has been Widener. Now say, Widener has been very critical of the traditional public administration. The main point of departure of Widener's idea of administration has been that the traditionally public administration has blurred the difference between the means and the end. Widener is critical of the traditional understanding of public administration or the traditional conceptualization of public administration because he believed that administration as understood traditionally or conventionally has blurred the difference between the means and the end. Now what is the end? The goal. Means is the process. Now under the traditional approach towards administration, the emphasis has been on economy and efficiency. As far as the traditional public administration is concerned, the main emphasis has been on efficiency, economy and efficiency. Now that means, as Widener says, that for public administration, as understood under the classical traditional point of view, the economy and efficiency has been captured in a way that it is not only the means but also the goal in itself. So under traditional public administration, what has been the goal? Economy and efficiency. So as per the paradigm of public administration as understood conventionally or as understood under the traditional public administration, efficiency and economy is not merely considered as a means. That means while the administration carrying out its activities, employing its tools and techniques, it should be economical, it should be efficient. But the entire focus of the public administration has been on these two values. So thereby, as Widener says, that public administration conventionally has focused on achieving the economy and efficiency. Thereby, the economy and efficiency is what? Not merely the means, but also the the goal. Rejecting this very viewpoint, he maintained that administration, moreover, he was referring to the post-World War period, that particular period, and especially in the context of the developing societies, post-colonial societies, or newly independent, in the context of newly independent countries. He maintained, as far as these countries are concerned, in this context, the traditional, conventional emphasis on economy and efficiency is inadequate. It is insufficient. In fact, it says that this is something very irrelevant to this new conception of the administration that is required in the context of these newly independent countries. I hope you are able to understand this. See, he has been very critical of the traditional public administration on the basis that for it, the focus has been on economy and efficiency. And the focus has been such that for the public administration, economy and efficiency is not merely a means to achieve the goal. Rather, it is the goal in itself. So what has been the goal of the traditional public administration? Efficiency itself. So they have blurred the difference between, or the distinction between, the means and the goal. Now, in that particular context, he is highlighting that if you take into account these newly independent countries, these systems require a new concept of administration. So that conventional concept of administration is not relevant in this context. In that particular context, he is introducing the concept development administration. So here, he emphasizes that the administration, the goal of the administration is development. So the goal is not efficiency, goal is not economy, the goal is development. But having said so, he also maintains development is not something, an end in itself. Because development itself is a process. Development in itself is not finality, because development in itself is what? A process. But development itself is a goal for what? Goal for administration. Development is a goal for the administration. It's not economy, it's not efficiency. Rather, development is the goal for the administration, although development is what? A process. So thereby, Widener says that administration conceived to attain development is development administration. So thereby, development administration involves planned change. So development administration, as per the Widener, is what? Planned change. So that is why Widener says development administration is an action-oriented, goal-oriented, change-oriented administration. So therefore, development administration is a action-oriented, goal-oriented, change-oriented administration. At the same time, see, while he says development administration involves development as the end goal, so that's why it is it involves planned change. It is a type of administration that aims at attaining what? Development. So that's why it involves change. And what type of change? Planned. That means there is an aim, there's a defined goal that it intends to achieve, the change is not any random change. Rather, it is a deliberate, designed change. That is what is referring to as development administration. And in this particular context, he says, development administration aims at a changed political, economic, and social situation or condition. So for Widener, development is what? Is it only economic? No. He says the development because development administration aims at development that basically it is a planned change to attain a new political, social, and economic condition. That means Widener is saying development is not merely economic change. Because many a time we align development with what? Economy. Because the moment you say, okay, whether India is developing or not, we say, okay, the growth rate is this. So most of the time, development is captured through economic growth. But he says development is not all about economic growth. It's not all about economy. It's not economic in nature. It is both political as well as social. So as he says, development is as much economic as much it is social. So development administration involves not only planned economic change, it also involves planned social changes.